Welcome back to General Exploration Discovery, everybody. I'm Jared, the J and the JNR. In today's video, I'm going to be discussing what the scale actually means for tornadoes, all the way from an EF0 to an EF5. Now, a lot of people think that the EF0s are just dust devils, but they're actually more than that. They can have speeds of up to 65 to 85 miles an hour, and the damage is very light, usually. This is something like you may not even be able to see that there was a tornado that hit. You might have a couple pieces of siding like ripped off your house and stuff like that. But an EF0 is extremely light. Now, they could still be extremely scary, though, especially if you have children and stuff. It can be extremely scary for them because they don't know what is going on with that. An EF1, the damage is moderate, 86 to 110 mile an hour winds. This is where it's starting to get to where you shouldn't really be on the road. You should not be driving around this stuff because 110 mile an hour winds is just way too much. You should not be on the road, and that's just the way it is. And even at 86 miles an hour, it is classified as an EF1. But the scale is actually determined after the storm. There are factors that they calculate in, like wind speeds and things such as that, but it's actually calculated by the damage afterwards as well, because while it's on the ground, they could say that it's this, but the damage also has to be calculated into that. So you can have an EF3 and it only have the damage of an EF0. So just keep that in mind as you go through that and everything. Kind of keep that stuff in mind as we continue on going through this video. An EF2, the damage is considerable, 111 to 135 mile an hour winds. Now this is really getting on up there. You're getting close to hurricane type like weather here, but a tornado is way more focused than a hurricane. I said this in how a tornado formed, the video I just posted yesterday, and guys, it really does tell you in that video though exactly how they form. I go through it kind of quickly in that video, but it gives you the basic idea of how a tornado forms and some scientific terms and stuff in there that you guys may not understand. So I tried to break it down for you as quickly as I possibly could, but check out that video if you haven't checked it out yet. At EF3, winds of 136 to 165 miles an hour, and the damage is severe. This is where you're really starting to think about your house is not there anymore and things like that, especially if it's not a very well built house or anchored down really well. I actually used to have a bus driver that his house was actually built to withstand like a hurricane, even though that wasn't actually going to happen. But the structure was actually reinforced like 10 feet underground, and just the house wasn't underground, it was above ground, but it was like anchored down in the ground, and the structure and the frame and everything, it was just utterly insane how stable this house was for our area. And like even look like where he lived is like tornado, the possibility of it coming up was just going to be so unlikely. But if it did, his house was there and was going to withstand it. My goodness, that's just the way it was going to be. And EF4, 166 to 200 miles an hour winds. The damage is very devastating. At this point, it is. Cars are being carried off. This is complete buildings being tore out of the path. Fields are being destroyed. That's it. EF4s, you're getting really up there with the damage path and everything. All tornadoes can be devastating in their own ways if you're not careful. They're all deadly, all the way from an EF0 to an EF5. So make sure that you take them all seriously, no matter how small they may be. That being said, though, we're going to get into the EF5 now. Winds of over 200 miles an hour. Did you guys know that tornadoes can actually have winds of up to over 300 miles an hour? That is uncommon, but it can happen. It has been known to happen. Over 300 mile an hour winds. The damage is incredible at this point. The destruction path is over a mile wide. And guys, if you think about a mile wide, think about how long it takes you to actually drive a mile, even if you're out there on the interstate or something. The destruction path is that wide, and it's going through there, just like the tornado that hit Joplin. It was an EF5, carried off an entire Walmart building, carried off other things. The thing about tornadoes that a lot of people don't understand, though, is that they are highly unpredictable, and they can hit your neighbor's house and then jump over 10 blocks up the road and then take out that whole block. That is the way that they work, and you just don't know. They could be right there in your subdivision, look like they're about to hit your house, and then they just turn and they go the other direction. It happens. There's actually video evidence of this. Tornadoes have a mind of their own, so to speak. That's what they do. Hopefully this video today helped you guys understand the scale more, and hopefully you guys take this stuff seriously, because this is actually some devastating stuff, and people do lose everything to these things. I drove past Joplin. I used to live not too far from Joplin, Missouri, and I actually drove past after the tornado happened, and the devastation was just utterly insane. The president actually came down and actually checked out the damage himself. That's how big of a natural disaster it was. The president flew down from Washington, D.C. whenever that happened. So, guys, always be respectful and give when you can and help out those in need, because how would you feel if you lost everything? So make sure that you are giving and you are being courteous to people that are out there like that, and don't be a looter. After these huge storms, people go out, they loot everything, they take things, maybe the couple of things that these people have left after these storms and everything, and they take everything that they have left. Don't be one of those people. Be out there, be helpful, don't hinder and cause the problem to get way worse. God bless each and every one of you. I'm Jared with General Exploration and Discovery. Subscribe and turn on that notification bell so you don't miss any of our weekly uploads. Thank you for watching General Exploration and Discovery.